people, it's Vanessa filming for Carolyn's Musings on YouTube and Etsy and One Way Journals on Facebook. So welcome to Carolyn's YouTube channel, and warm welcome if you are a returning subscriber, or if you've just dropped by and visiting, then we hope that you'll enjoy this and that you'll consider subscribing. Always helps if you like, share, comment. All those things help with the channel and for it to grow. So what we have for you today is how to create your own gift bag to present one of your slimline journals. So here we go. This is the Fruit of the Spirit. So I just happen to have some scrapbooking card in my stash that I've used. So this one, isn't this gorgeous with the paper on the inside as well? So this one here is the first one that I made, and it fit my little journal in here. Now this journal is only like 8.5 by 5.5. So this little bag is a little bit smaller. This journal, if you haven't seen it, please check out the playlist. This is the fruit, one of two journals I made for Fruit of the Spirit, and this one was made with sticking envelopes together and then the digitals on top. So this is why this one's a little bit smaller and it fits this one. And then for me to make my next Bountiful Harvest journal, which I'm about to make, it has this size 6 by 9 as the cover, so I actually needed to make it a little bit bigger so that it would fit this way. So I'm in the description box, please have a look. I'm going to put the measurement for both boxes so that you can have a look on how you can make these, but you will require some 12 by 12 cardstock or scrapbooking paper with a firmness to it. It's probably better if it's double-sided, and then we're going to be cutting it down by 12 by 9. So you'll need two pieces of the same. This one is directly with scrapbooking, this one is with craft card and then a digital over the top. So let's just switch over to the next bit. So the beauty of this project is that you can make it any size that you like so that you can adjust it. So I'm going to give you the measurements for a journal. Basically the sides and the bottom, the side and the bottom have to be the same size. So if you increase or decrease, you have to reduce the bottom one as well if you do it on the sides. So these were 1 3/4 of an inch, and then that fits that way because this is 1 3/4 as well, and it fits that way there. Okay, so that's that one. So I'll put that one aside. Now this next one I made was for the Autumn Botanical Harvest journal that I'm making, and so this one I had to change a little bit because I want a 6 by 9 cover. Here it will now fit. So we're going to go off these measurements that I'm preparing for this one here. Now, when I had to reduce the side so that I could make it longer here on the front, I then had to reduce down the bottom as well. So with my next journal, keep that in mind. It means that these are for slimline journals. So my spine here is actually a little bit shorter than 1.5 inches. It's actually 1 3/8. Okay, I'm hoping that all makes sense. It's just how you adjust the size for the project that you're making. So that's going to go in that one there. Right, so we've got our pieces of paper, and if you have got scrapbooking paper that is perfect, it's a lot easier to do that than decorating something else, but I'm going to do the harder version to show you. The simple version is to use the scrapbooking paper. So this one here, other than having this doily put on the front, is the only decoration. So that's made out of scrapbooking paper, just that. However, I wanted to use these digitals, so I needed a base. So you are going to need a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. You're going to need two pieces exactly the same. So on this one, I used craft card stock, which is what I'm going to be doing again. Okay, so I needed to cut my digitals to fit on the top of that. So just keep in mind there's two versions. The easy one is just use your scrapbooking digitals, and then the second way is to use a base, and then we can decorate the digitals on top. So we need two pieces exactly the same, 12 by 12, and then I've cut them down so 3 inches off the top. So now it is 9 by 12 inches, 2 pieces. I've already scored one, so I'm going to score the next one with you and show you what the measurements are. All right, so the first thing we need to do is score 1 inch on the top, and that's going to be folded over just to strengthen. Now I've done a couple of measurements here because I can see and not hold you up, but having a cutting mat or some sort of grid underneath does make it a lot easier. 1 inch from the top, score that. 1 inch from the top, and I will put the measurements in the description box. Okay, the bottom, I have made it, now let me just double check, I am making it 1 3/8. Whoops. You can try and make it 1.5 inches. It will just make it very, very tight this way for your journal to fit in. Okay. So let's go with that again. 1 inch from the top, 1 3/8 of an inch from the bottom. The bottom has to be the same as the sides. So that is 1 3/8 from the left and 1 3/8 from the right. Here we go. You might have a large scoring board. I've only got a small one, so it's easier for me just to grab my ruler and a stylus tool or a bone folder, whatever you like to score with. So there's one there, and then here's the next one. Okay. Okay, so now what we want to do is fold them. So here's the top one, that one, and then the bottom one. Let me get my bone folder. So we've got a nice crisp edge. And now let's fold the sides. And then the other one. Okay, so the top is the 1 inch. That is what we want to fold and glue down so that we have the strength on the top of the bag. So just put a decent amount of tape or glue along there. Cardstock is a bit thick to stick together, so I think the art glitter glue is good for that. And then just hold it down for a couple of seconds because you really want that to stick down and not lift up. And I will just speed through as I glue the other one. Now, what I wanted to mention to you is if you would like to have a pinch on the side of your box, so this one here, you can see that it pinches in like that. If you want that effect, I did that, and unfortunately, this quality cardstock actually split on me, so I wasn't too happy with the cardstock on that one. But yeah, if you want the pinch, all you need to do is score 6/8 of an inch into this one down the middle. So just find the middle point between this score line and the edge, and that's where you would score another line, and that's going to be where it will fold in on itself. I don't want to do that. I want to keep mine like this, but if you made a whole bunch, like say you did a mass make of them, you might want to do the pinch on it and then they can lay flat, or you can just create them all flat, not assemble them, and then just put them together when you're ready for them to go. So just storage ideas. So once again, if you want that pinch, just find the middle mark between the edge and this score line, and then that's where you would score it down here, and you would have that pinch bit there. Okay, so now that we've glued down the front, just fold it so that it's drying with the bend in it. Okay. And then what we want to do is come down the bottom, and we want to cut up to the score line on the left and the right. So I've already done it on one. I will do it on this one. So if you go straight up to there, and then you might want to just cut a little thin triangle. It'll just make it a little bit easier when you're folding that bottom tab in. And then we'll do the same on the left here. And just a very thin triangle there. Okay, and then they fold like that. Now the next bit is, you can do this afterwards if you want, but I think it's actually easier to do it now, is you line up your edges and you can decide where you want to punch your holes. So I just on this one, I did it 2 inches from the fold line. So I'm just going to put I got a pencil. Okay, so hopefully you'll see there's a dot there and there's a dot there. So get your hole punch or crocodile, and I'm using the largest setting. And this little bit is holding it down to a certain point, so the next one will both be exactly the same insert. So that one, and then this one. And by holding it together, we then have our punch lines on either side, and they're even. Okay. Oh, it's okay. I've just realized I was supposed to put my digital on the front before I punch the holes. It's okay. This is why we can always fix things. All right, so these are folded. I'm not inking the edges of my my box, but I have with my pieces of paper. So just skip this bit if you've used your scrapbooking paper and you don't need to decorate the front. Just skip this little bit, and then we'll come back to the assemble. But what I've done is cut my pieces. So I have got these. Now these have just been cut slightly smaller just to give a little border. So I'm going to lift that up to the camera so that you can see that I've just left, it's like 1/8 of an inch around the edge, just to make it shorter so that there's a bit of a border. Okay, actually that one goes up that way. There we go. And I've already inked around the edge, so I'm going to glue that down. Let's do that now. I printed this on 160 GSM just because I wanted something a little bit sturdier just to help the box, the bag. But don't worry, you can print it just on your normal paper that you use for your signatures and things like that. Okay, so let's stick this one down. There we go. And now we'll do it on this one on the outside, and this one I haven't inked, so let me just ink that. You can use your whatever is your favorite ink to use. I do have vintage photo, but I'm just trying to use up the last of this archival ink pad in sepia just to use it up. And the inking just gives it a bit of definition, and it takes off that white edge where we've cut it. There we go. All right, we want it up the right way, and glue this one down. I'll speed this up. Okay, so now what I've got is the bits that I cut off my digital. I have enough to do the sides and the bottom. So just choose one of your pieces, and this is where we decorate just one of the bottoms and on either side. So it's easier just to do it on the one piece. So this one, oh, this is the only piece that I have left from the two digitals. So this one here is perfect. It will fit down here, and I've already inked around the edges. So that one, I'm going to go glue that one down on the bottom. And I have two pieces for the sides. So that one will go there, and then this one will go here. And I've inked around the edges, so I'll just speed through as I quickly glue those ones down as well. All right, now that we've got that on, this is where we would punch the holes, but it's okay. I can just come back on this side and punch here. Right, okay, so we've got our two pieces. Now before we put that together, it's easier now to put in your eyelets. So here you will see I've got metal eyelets that have been punched through on this one, and this one here, you see these beautiful bronzy ones here. These are by Carolyn, bless her. She gave me these ones here, and so they've been punched through. But to keep the ribbon, what I did was I didn't think it was going to work, but I used a brad, popped the brad through, and then through the ribbon, as you can see here. And I'm surprised it's holding. So you could glue the ribbon down as well, just to give it some extra strength, but I'm really surprised it actually holds really well with that idea. So that's one idea how to put your ribbon in. This one here, you can see that I've just used twine, and I've just double knotted it here, and that's holding it so that it doesn't pull out. The alternative you could do is, when you get your twine, you can thread it through, and then you can just tie the end, and then you have a tie up the top. So you could use ribbon, you could have it tied and then have some hanging down. So you can do that as well. Just play with it and have some fun on how you want to do your little handles. Okay, and then this one I've just made a leaf into a gift tag. So just to let you know, these little tags, they are on the Bountiful Harvest add-on fussy cuts. So these fantastic leaves, and I've just enlarged them a bit on my computer, printed them out, then backed them onto this. Actually, I need to ink on the other side of them, and then that just makes a cute little gift tag out of that. Now, if you don't have that kit, but you're wanting to make something autumn, and you have the Bountiful Harvest digital kit, that's where this sheet has come from, as well as this one. You could actually cut out one of the leaves from the paper and use that as a little gift tag if you wanted to do that for your box. All right, so it's easier to do your eyelets now. Now, if you don't have metal eyelets, you can always, if you've got a circle punch, you can cut a circle. So to do that, let's do one here. We can strengthen it. If you've got the same paper as the digital, you could cut out as the same as the digital, because that one's not wide enough. Let me just show you. The easiest thing to do is, instead of cutting the circle first, is to actually cut a little hole first. Do one there, and then one there. And then if you've got a circle punch, it's easier then to line up the center. Just going to cut that down a bit. It's easier to actually do it like that and find your, than the other way around. It's easier to do the center and then the outside, I think. Okay. Now you could use the bigger hole actually if you wanted to put the brads. If you've got a thin piece of cord like this one, you can use the smaller one like that. There we go. And so I would just do a couple of discs just to give it a bit of firmness, and then you can put that around the hole, and then that will strengthen strengthen it if you don't have any metal eyelets, but we've got metal ones, so we're going to use that. So let me get those. Okay, so we've got these, so just need to set them. And I'll just speed through this bit. Okay, so that bit's done. All right, so now and if you want to decorate and put a doily or, you know, some words or anything, however you want to decorate the front, you can, it's easy to do it while it's flat. I haven't actually thought about that point. Sorry, I've done doilies on the other ones. I have a couple more there. I could always put that one on the front. And then you could put like an autumn word on there or a happy birthday if it's going to somebody, whatever your sentiments are. So if you're going to do that now. It is easier. You can add it afterwards, but it's easier. Now that you have your two pieces, what we want to do is we want to say, okay, so if this is our front, we want to glue this to this one. And what we want to do is we want to glue this under this one so that the raw edge and the join comes to the back, which means this one is under and that one goes there. So I mean, it's obvious for us to tell because of the digitals we've got on the top, but if you're just doing it with your plain scrapbooking paper, try to remember that you want both your sides coming to the same direction, so it's at the back of the bag. Okay, so let me just glue this down, and we want to glue the whole piece here from top to bottom. Sorry, I'm just turning around to make it a little bit easier for me to see. Line them up. There we go. And firmly press that down. And then we come to the other one. There we go. Oops. And if it's, just make sure you add lots of tape or glue. You know, a glue will give you a bit of wriggle space. So we just want to hold that. Make sure those edges stick together. Right, so the same thing again. It's easy for us to tell because we have the pattern paper on here. But what you want to do is fold in your side bits and glue this bit, so these onto here. So let's do that. It's easier to do one at a time. So let's put that one down, because one at a time means I can still get my fingers in there and I can try and hold that and press those together. Okay, I think I need a bit more glue. And then this side. And then you might want to flip that over and then just press down in there, or you might want to get your ruler or bone folder and just press that down. Make sure that glues down really firmly. Okay, and so finally, whoops. So finally now we want to glue this flap on. Okay, so lots of glue again. We now have our base done, so that's great. So the next thing we want to do is decide what we want to do for our handle. So you could use ribbon or cord. I found this at Australian Officeworks. It's macrame cord. So I've got it in green and this sort of burgundy colour. So I'll just have to have a look. Do I like that one or do I like the green? Actually think I prefer the burgundy on this one. All right, so the lengths, I did about 15 inches for both of mine. Whoops, there we go. Pull that off. There we go. And the easiest thing is, that's the back. I'm going to do the back one first, and so just thread that through your eyelet. And as I said, you could actually have it tied. If you want to tie it like that, you could have it tied and up the top. Do I want to do that? Let's try that and see what that like. So it's a little bit different to the other one. It's going to have a bulky knot on the top. I think if you're going to use a thinner cord or twine or something, that might actually be better, or some ribbon. I don't know if I like that. Just trying to, so we might just stick to the other way. All right, so we want to do a knot on this one. Now you can, I did double knot the other one so it doesn't slip through the eyelet, but I actually think one, this is so thick, one is going to be enough. And then I'll just cut off that there. There we go. And then we thread this end through. Yep, this is on the back. Whoops. Let's try and twist it to get it through. There we go. And do I like that length? Yeah, and so here we just want to do a double knot. I mean, I'm just going to do a single one on this one. There we go. Okay, so there's one handle. Let's go to the front. Now, if I wanted to add a little gift tag, let's have a look. Do we want the orange one or do we want the green one? I think we'll use the orange one. And so I'm just going to punch a hole through that. There we go. And you could put an eyelet if you want to. I'm not going to. And this one, you could thread it directly onto the cord. Just put it in through now before you tie it. However, it doesn't give it as much movement. So I'm just going to use a thinner bit of this twine. And you could just thread it through like that and tie the ends together, but I'm going to do like we do with a tag, where you double it over, thread it through, put the ends through the loop like that. If it wants to play, there we go, like that. And then I'll just tie this into a double knot on the end. But if you didn't want to use this cord, you could always use like a clothing pin or something, and you can just pin it to the edge if you prefer that. Okay, so now that I've got that, I can loop that through there, and then the tag is just hanging off the cord, and then it's easier to snip off if the recipient wants to do that later. And you can also, if you don't want it to keep sliding around, you can just glue it to a spot on the cord. Let me just get this one in. tie a knot. Cut that off. There we go. And I want this one now through here. Twist it. And through there. There we go. And we just want our handles around the same length. So around there. So I want my knot. It doesn't give me a lot of room, so you might want to cut it. Just pull it through to make it easier for you to tie. Then put your knot, if that comes back there, just, that's a bit tight. I have to bring it a little bit further down. Just to make sure those handles are, you know, more of a similar. That goes there. That one, yep. Could even go down just a little bit more. Sorry. Here we go. There we go, and pull that and cut that off. And there we go. There's our next bag done, ready for a journal to go inside. But of course you can use them for anything you like. You can adjust the sides. So once again, I'll just remind you, if you want to lengthen it, then you reduce the sides, the measurement on the side. So that's why mine went from 1 3/4 down to just under 1 1/2. But keep in mind, if you want it longer that way, it is then going to reduce the bottom part as well. So it means that you can really only put slimline journals in here. You can't really put big chunky journals because it's just not enough room to do that. So this one here, if you don't want it to keep sliding down, we'll just pop a little bit of glue on the top of that there just to keep it still so it can swing, but it's not going to keep going down the handle. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed watching this little way of just making that extra little touch, special touch when you're gifting a journal to somebody, or even if you sell your journals. What a beautiful way to present them and to do that. So I hope you enjoyed it. I just wanted to do a really quick little video like this so that you had this for the weekend, so that you could watch this, and then within the next couple of days the actual Botanical Harvest journal will be uploaded, the video tutorial on how I made that, and then you can see the two of them put together. Okay, God bless. See you in the next one. Bye.